I'm gonna put my glasses on because it's sunny out here. Plus, I look better because I am tired. Okay, so for those who were wanting me to come here and talk about what's going on with Bank of America, I might have to do a different live on Bank of America because I do have some updates on that. But this live here is to talk about AT&T. So, okay, dude, you all over the line. Girl, y'all, why people messing with me in 2024? Whoa, this guy, I don't know what is going on. Is the dog driving the car? He is all over the road. Ooh, I need to go and get home, y'all. Anyway, so this is what's going on with AT&T. And I'm going to try to make it short because I do need to get into work, but I do have a break in between meetings. So, last week Monday, not this week Monday, I got a text message. This guy must be driving like sleep or something. I know the dog is over there doing stuff, but what the heck are you doing? I gotta get away from him. Yeah, so last week Monday, I got a text message from AT&T. Now I'm gonna say AT&T has been calling me. Oh, that's interesting. AT&T has been calling me and not leaving messages, right? I don't owe them no money, so I don't know what they want. I'm too busy. I ain't got time to answer their calls. They ain't been leaving no messages. I don't know what they trying to talk about. Now, I got a message last Monday that said, urgent. Hi, this is AT&T. Your internet service is going to be disrupted soon. Call us to schedule your free installation to AT&T fiber. Now, fiber was installed in my subdivision over a year ago. So, clearly they want everybody to go to fiber. But fiber, understandably, would be more expensive. So, yeah, the speed will be faster, but I'm fine with my internet speed. I don't have any issues with it. But I do have some slight issues, but nothing I couldn't live with. Anyway, what does this mean? My internet service is going to be disrupted soon. Hey, Phoebe. Hey, lady. So I'm like, okay, I don't know what this is. So Tuesday night after work, I decided to contact customer service via the chat to find out what's going on with this text message that I got. Like, what in the world does soon mean? When is my service going to be disrupted? So I get on there and I said, what is up with this message? And so he tells me, you're currently using the copper line. We want to discontinue the copper service. And so we want all of us, you're the last one basically in your area, basically my subdivision, that's still on copper. And they want to turn the service down. Okay, that's fine. So when should I expect my service to be disrupted? Because this text only says soon, right? And he says, well, there's no date listed here. I said, well, how urgent? I said, I don't appreciate the scare tactics. Because how urgent could it be if you don't even have a date as to when the service is going to be disrupted? He said, well, I don't know. There's no date here. But we can get you scheduled for fiber. And I'm like, no, I'm not really all that interested. Now, truth be told, I'm paying $300 plus a month for AT&T Uverse, for phone, internet, and cable with stars, right? So it's entirely too much. It's been entirely too much. I've been with AT&T way too long. We know how this game goes. You kind of have to switch out every couple of years in order to keep the cable bill like low. So he tells me on the phone that if I switch to fiber, it's going to drop my internet charges by $13 a month. Big whoop. I'm paying over $300. I know I can do better than that somewhere else. $13 a month isn't really going to help me. So, like, that's not enticing me to get fiber. So, I'm telling him, I can do better at another provider. He's like, oh, well, they're not going to have speeds as fast as ours, blah, 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 blah. I don't even care. If it's faster than what I got now, it's still an improvement, and I ain't paying as much. And I'm not unhappy with what I have now. So, so he goes, well, before you cancel, hey, Miss Lex Lex, before you cancel, talk to our loyalty team. They might be able to help you out with the bill. All right, cool. Now, mind you, that was Tuesday night. So the next day, and y'all know I work from home. I 100% work from home. The next day, about 11:45 a.m., I get dropped from a Zoom call. Thank goodness it's an internal call, but I leave that call. I got dropped from the Zoom, and I'm like, what in the world is going on? I thought Zoom did something. I thought everybody went quiet, and the next thing I know, Zoom was trying to reconnect. And it couldn't. I pulled out my other machine. That machine couldn't get internet, and then eventually the page said that my AT&T service was voluntarily suspended. And I'm like, say what now? I just talked to customer service last night, and they didn't have a date, and now my service is suspended. I knew exactly what it was about. But the fact of the matter is, you didn't have a date to give me last night. You sent me a text 2 days ago to say soon, with no actual date on it, and then you shut me down? I didn't even have 48 hours notice that the service was going to be disrupted at all, let alone when. So I finished up my meeting using my phone. I called customer service. The long and the short of it, my service is suspended. He says, oh, I can restore your service, but you have to agree to upgrade the fiber. Mind y'all, the bill was paid 4 days prior to this. So I'm like, I gotta agree to an upgrade for you to put back service that I'm paying for? What? That don't make no sense. You didn't give me proper notification. I don't have an opportunity to evaluate your fiber service or anybody else's service. As a consumer, I have rights. You can't just turn my service off without notifying me. And I just talked to y'all last night, and he couldn't give me a date as to when the service was going to be turned off. Well, I can turn your service back on without you agreeing to fiber, but it could be disrupted again at any given time. Well, hold on. What's the difference between me agreeing and me not agreeing? Either you're going to turn the service on and it's going to be unstable, or you're going to turn the service on and it's going to be stable until I do something else. It's not like y'all going to come here today and install fiber. So if I agree to install fiber, you're telling me my service is magically going to be stable because I agreed to fiber? Or you're intentionally going to make it unstable because I haven't agreed to fiber? That don't make no sense to me. And so I'm like, you gonna turn my service on or not? He was like, hold on. You still need me. If you're not gonna turn my service on, I don't need you. I'm inconvenienced now that the service is off. So, basically, I said, well, he said, well, I said, well, if you're not gonna turn it back on, you might as well just cancel it. I'll have it turned back on with my new provider. And he was just like, oh, well. I said, so when can I expect my refund? And he said, oh, well, the bills are paid. You paid the bill based on the previous month's service. I said, You and I both know better that when I pay that bill, it's the month ahead. Y'all gonna owe me a credit. When can I expect my refund for that bill that just got paid 4 days ago? And I was like, so all of a sudden you billing now? He was like, I am billing. I was like, all right, well, cancel it anyway. He was like, well, I'll have to get you over to cancellations. Oh, you're billing, but you're not cancellations? Anyway, get me over to whoever you need to get me over to, because I'm over this. I'm not. You're not going to strong arm me into fiber when I said I didn't want it, and you haven't even given me an opportunity to evaluate that. So he sends me over to the loyalty team. She's singing the same song. I can't put your service back unless you give me a date. Now, she tried to say that I can give them a date, but I don't have to go through with it. I can cancel it. I can give them a date for them to restore my service that will give me time to make my evaluations. Here's the problem I have with that. I have to come and install fiber. That's a verb. Now I decide I don't want you at all, let alone your fiber. And you charge me a cancellation fee for what I've already agreed to, because I had agreed for you to come. So now you charge me a fee or whatever. But I did that simply so I could get my service turned back on. Yeah, I'm not doing that. And my manager thought I was like cut my nose off to spite my face, because the reality is I want my internet back on. Yeah, I do, but I shouldn't have to make any agreements to get my internet turned back on. Especially when you didn't even notify me that you were going to turn it off. So I just said, whatever. So this lady said, well, I can't cancel it because you want to port your home number, so I have to leave it suspended. Okay, fine. I got off the phone with her, got on the line with my new service provider, Spectrum, and found out that I could get service installed. First Bank of America, now AT&T. Exactly. Found out that I could have Spectrum installed as early as Monday. That was yesterday. So I went ahead, signed that up. I got some shenanigans with Spectrum, but they were a lot friendlier in dealing with the issues that I have there. And so I don't know if it's actually resolved or not regarding the billing. Something weird went on with their website. That's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about AT&T. I don't have any issues with Spectrum right now. Just a few things I wasn't aware of that I'm dealing with. But basically, AT&T. So I'm like, all right, I can get my service turned on. I can use my mobile hotspots on my mobile devices for internet. That'll keep me working. That'll keep Baby G occupied on his tablet. And that'll be fine. So let that be a lesson to you. Don't bundle your cell phone service with your cable service in case they decide to act like this. So the next day, I'm in my feelings about what's happened. I feel like AT&T is trying to strong arm into fiber when I didn't say that I wanted fiber. And I felt like you can't just turn somebody's service off without notifying them. Like, I got zero notice that you were going to turn it off. And when I talked to the lady in loyalty, she said, well, I had this issue with another customer just the other day, and they had a notification in their profile. I'm not seeing the same notification in your profile. I said, yeah, because I never received one. And then she says, oh, I see. They sent you something in the mail 4 months ago. I didn't see it. What did it say? Because I asked the other guy if I was sending. He was like, well, usually they send a notification. Well, what did it say? When was the notification sent? Because I didn't receive anything. All I got was this text message 2 days ago that just said soon. Nothing had a date on it for me to work toward. There was no deadline. I don't have a problem with you wanting to turn that service off, but you got to notify people. You can't just turn it off because you feel like it. So, that was the only notification on my profile, was something they sent me in the mail 4 months ago, which I never got. If I got it, I didn't see it, and I certainly didn't read it. And if they didn't have a date the night before, they ain't had no date 4 months ago either. So, I'm basically perturbed. So the next morning, I'm up early, I'm in my feelings, and so I decided to Google schmoogle and figure out who I could complain to about what AT&T was doing. So I found the FCC. Yes. So turns out you can make a informal complaint to the FCC about this type of situation. So drafted up my little complaint. AT&T was on my phone the same day that I submitted this complaint. Received a call. I'm not going to use any names because the lady, I guess, was kind of nice, even though at the end of the day she wasn't incredibly helpful. But I guess she tried. I don't know. But she's a senior manager from the office of the president of AT&T. Contacted me. I didn't know that was her calling. I missed the call. She left a voice message and she sent me an email. In both messages, she said that I would be contacted. Well, she was apologetic for my experience. And then she said that she was going to have a specialist contact me within one business day, pardon me, to see about restoring my service immediately. Now, she did also read in my complaint that I was moving on to another service provider, but she wanted to remove the inconvenience that I was currently experiencing by having my service restored, have a smoother transition into my new service. Now, she sent me that message on, that was like Thursday evening. She's on Pacific time. I did call her back that day because she's on Pacific time. It was still within her working hours. She did not respond back to me. Pardon me. I thought maybe she would call me back at some point on Friday. I didn't receive a call back from her on Friday. I never received a call from the specialist. So instead of calling her back, I sent an email. Since she did send me an email, I replied to her email on Friday during her business hours that she had given me, basically stating that I hadn't heard back from her. I hadn't heard from the specialist. I didn't need to talk to the specialist because when I left her the message on Thursday evening, I had an email from Spectrum basically saying they were having a hard time porting my number. When I called Spectrum, they said they couldn't port the number over because it was suspended. So the number has to be active. It can't have any work orders on it, including this voluntary suspension, in order for them to move it. So when I called her back on Thursday night, I basically said I really need to talk to the specialist because I need them to lift the suspension on the phone. I don't care about the internet, the cable, leave that off. But I need the suspension left on the phone so I can take my number with me. Now, this is a number that I brought to AT&T. That's how long I've had the number. Now, I'm not incredibly tied to the number, but it's a severe inconvenience to have to update like doctor's offices or whatever, who else has this number, to a new number. So I want to take the number with me if I can. So I put all of that in the voice message on Thursday night. Didn't hear from anybody all day Friday. So Friday I sent a reply email basically saying the same thing. I really need to talk to a specialist because my new service provider is having a hard time porting my number over. And I haven't heard from your specialist. I know you said one business day, but I haven't heard from them, or whatever. So that was during her business hours on Friday. Got nothing. So the lady in Loyalty gave me the name of her that I talked to on Wednesday. When all of this happened, she basically gave me her direct number and she had given me her supervisor's name. So on Sunday, when I still have not heard from anybody, because by Friday night, if I hadn't heard from the specialist, I probably wasn't going to hear from the specialist, and Spectrum was coming to do my installation Monday morning. So Sunday night, I still hadn't heard from anybody. I called the Loyalty lady's number, left her a message. She never replied back to me. But I did say on that message that I was going to try to contact customer service. Contacted customer service. They basically sang the same song. They can't release the suspension on just the phone. They have to release the suspension on the entire account. And they can't release the suspension on the account until I give them a date to install fiber. I asked for a supervisor. The supervisor got on the phone, sang that same song. I informed the supervisor that I did have an FCC complaint out there and that I was contacted by a senior manager at the office of the president. Didn't seem to move her any, basically singing the same song. Then she tried to hit me with, well, why is it that you're not interested in fiber? I said, well, I may have been interested in fiber if you all hadn't disrupted my service and refused to turn it back on when you haven't given me proper notice. Like, and then the other lady that I talked to before the supervisor informed me, or was it the supervisor? Either way, they said they could give me a date. Like, all I had to do was give them a date, and they could issue me a date for fiber 30 days out, which means y'all had, it's not like y'all just turned the whole service off in my neighborhood. Y'all had the ability to restore my service for at least another 30 days. You didn't do that. You didn't do that. I had to give you a date, meaning I had to agree for you all to upgrade me to fiber in order for you to return my service. And that's why I made the complaint, because you're actively denying me service. Service that is available, service that I paid for, simply because you want me to upgrade and haven't given me the opportunity to evaluate whether I want to upgrade with you or go with somewhere else. My issue here is the notification part of it. If you didn't notify me and you turned my service off, the appropriate thing to do is turn my service back on. Give me 2 weeks to do what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? And then turn it back off. But to hear that you could have restored my service for 30 days, nah, that's crazy to me. That's absolutely crazy to me. So not doing it. And now you're holding my phone number hostage because I can't get my phone number ported, which by law I'm allowed to do, simply because I won't give you a date for service. I'm clearly going to someone else. Why would I agree to a date for you to install anything? All I'm asking you to do is release my number so I can go on about my business and be done with y'all. Y'all wouldn't even do that. Wouldn't even do that. So I said, forget the number. I'll just move on without it. So Monday morning came. There was no resolution to the whole number thing. That was still on suspension. They can't port the number over while it's on suspension. So whatever, forget the number. I'll move on without it. So I got a brand new home number. And I never heard back. Like, I had not at that point heard back from the lady in the office of the president. I had not heard from any specialists. And the people that I was calling wasn't being helpful. So my service got installed yesterday, so I'm back online with internet. I got a brand new phone number that's working. And so yesterday evening I called AT&T and said cancel my service. And so she was like, oh well, we can make you offers, this, that, and the other. I said, let's skip the offers. Pardon me. I'm not interested in anything AT&T has to offer. All I want to do is cancel and offer me nothing else. And so so she skipped the offers. She put me on hold for quite some time, probably talking. They can probably see all the notes, because the manager that I talked to on Sunday said she put notes in there that I had made complaints with the FCC and all of that. Oh, I should say, after nobody would help me on Sunday evening, I sent another email to the senior manager and basically said, I still haven't heard from your specialist. I called customer service. They wouldn't release a suspension on my phone. You're holding my stuff hostage. This is not how you treat a value customer. This is exactly why I made the FCC complaint in the first place. You can't treat people like this, you know, and all of that. And so basically, thanks for nothing. For real. Because you called me, you made promises, none of those were made good on. I'm incredibly inconvenienced, frustrated, and aggravated with this entire process, and I really just want to put AT&T in my rear view. And so, and you all made that difficult all the way to the end. So, you know, whatevs. And so then I found that I could then update or amend my complaint with the FCC. So I let the FCC know the updates of everything that happened, how basically I had to leave my phone number behind, a phone number that I brought to AT&T with me. that I've had for many years, and now I had to leave that behind simply because they wouldn't release a suspension on the phone so that I could just move on in peace. They held my number hostage, to me, basically trying to strong arm me into fiber. Like, you can't treat people that way. They cannot continue to treat people that way, and it's just not right. So, I sent that email to her. I updated my complaint with the FCC because they do have to. The FCC said that they were required to send a written response within 30 days, about this situation to the FCC. So I wanted to make sure all the facts were updated, with my complaint. It's clear that I was already moving on, from them. There really wasn't a way for them to resolve it, but they could have made my move a little less frustrating. So, and they didn't. They made it more frustrating, and so it just is what it is. So, so I called last night to cancel all of the AT&T service. So now there's no reason, because the supervisor that I talked to on Sunday then informed me that if you don't release a suspension, the service will be permanently canceled on March 1st. And I'm like, well, by March 1st, y'all will be in my rear view. I don't even care. So she was like, well, okay then, and left. It's like, these people don't care. Like, you need to care, because if AT&T is doing business like this, AT&T could get sanctioned. Y'all could be out of a job. You know what I'm saying? You would think these people would be a little more inept to be helpful. I work in IT, okay? I understand that you, as the person who's sitting in front of the computer and needing to press buttons, that you don't have the access to override the fact that you can't restore my service unless I give you a date for fiber. The fact of the matter is, there is somebody who could override that, but you weren't trying to put me in contact with them. That's the problem that I have. Now, maybe the lady in the office of the president was trying to put me in contact with somebody who could override that. I don't know, because I never talked to them. So I was hopeful, at least, that whatever specialist she was connecting me with would have been able to get me what I needed. But that like never happened. I don't know if you guys are typing. Somebody say something, because I just lost the chat. The chat kind of disappeared. Oh, here's some chat. Let me see. All right, Zach. Inept to be helpful. That's the wrong word. Well, I didn't say inept, but I'm gonna put you in timeout because I don't like what you're saying. So anyway, um, I don't know what's going on with the chat right now. All right, I got a call from the senior manager at the office of the president last night, and basically she was saying she wasn't trying to ignore me. She got both of my emails, but that she was sick, and she sounded really sick on the phone. So I feel bad about her being sick, but the timing couldn't have been worse, right? So now I'm stuck, without well, hello. And anyway, now I'm stuck having to leave my number behind and all of that. Thank you, Fern Fox. And so I'm like, you know, it is what it is. I'm sorry that you're sick. I hope that you get better. And I just kind of left it at that. At this juncture, you're still trying to have a specialist call me for what? Like, I've already canceled the service. There really isn't anything that you could do. And just because I feel bad that you were sick and you couldn't get back to me, all right, the only Gabrielle, hello. So you were sick and you couldn't get back to me. I feel bad about that. I hope you get better. I hope your family is better. This is a horrible cold and flu season. I totally understand being sick and all of that. But I got zero help, right? And she said the specialist contacted me and was unable to contact me. I have no missed calls on my phone. Then nobody left me a message. I don't know what number they were trying to contact me on. Maybe the number that was suspended under my service. But, thanks for Fox. So it's like nobody was helpful. And I'm not saying she was intending to not be helpful, but basically nobody was helpful. And so I had to go through all of that, leave my number behind, and all of that. So that's kind of where we are at this point. I've got new service, a new number. My service is a lot cheaper. It's going to be like $137 a month as opposed to over $300 a month. And I got what I need, faster service and all of that great stuff. So it's a win for me, but it was incredibly aggravating getting here. So yeah, AT&T, thanks for nothing. Thanks for nothing. This is how you treat your valued customers, and then the audacity, I got a text message to do a survey on the lady who canceled my account last night. I think that's her. I don't even know. Like, I'm not, I don't have no problems with these people that's just doing their job. But I don't feel like you really did your due diligence for me after it's already been made clear that I didn't get properly notified. This is incredibly inconveniencing to me. I 100% work from home, and now I don't have any service simply because y'all decided to turn me off, for no good reason, and without proper notice. So, I'm not interested in anything AT&T has to say. Tell it to the FCC as far as I'm concerned, because I'm over it and I'm done. The good news about it is they don't even want their equipment back. Now I'm stuck with the equipment. I got to figure out how I can recycle their equipment, because I guess the equipment is old and they don't want it back. They don't want the remotes back. They don't want none of the machines back. So I got to figure out how to recycle that. It would have been easier for me to just send it back to them. More convenient. Now I need to find these recycle places to recycle their electronics. So that's that's where we are, man. But I'm just tired of fighting, y'all. I'm tired of fighting the good fight for things that I shouldn't have to fight. It's annoying. It's very annoying. So, hi, Holly Morrow. I didn't expect very many people to join. It's like middle of the workday for everybody. I think my phone is heating up. The charging stopped. Yeah, it's getting hot. So, pardon me. That's all I came in here to say, y'all. Just more drama, more drama, more drama. I will do a different live to get y'all up to date on the Bank of America situation. Only because we're not done. We're not done with it. So, they gave me an update and I wasn't satisfied with the update, and so, they're back to work trying to do what they can do. Yeah, and so the bureau that I complained to them about is basically giving them 60 days to get it together. So they got 60 days to get it together before they have to report back to that bureau resolution or a response of some kind. So we're just seeing where that goes. But the Bank of America situation actually gets more frustrating. But again, we'll save that for another live. At this rate, I'm gonna go in here, act like I got some work to do. So I'm gonna keep it short for those who want to watch this on the replay. Sticky baby, that's to all those TTC. Matter of fact, if you're watching this on the replay, throw I don't know, is there like a phone? There's a phone emoji, right? Throw a phone emoji in the comments if you're watching this on replay. In solidarity. Throw a phone emoji. It could be a cell phone. I don't care. Any kind of telecommunications. Hi, Scout. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I just try to be a better me every single day. Hi, Kaden. I'm going to get going, y'all, because I got work to do, and I'm going to finish my breakfast. Sticky baby, that's the other still TTT. Bye. Thanks for hanging out with me.